Hello guys, my name is Dean Edward. I am the owner of Inhouse Malaysia, the investment network that puts you first and networks everybody together that has a like-minded goal to make profit in the world of real estate. So my name is Dean Edward and I have been in Malaysia and Southeast Asia and so many other countries for the last 15, 16 years. I'm from London originally. I've been involved in property for all of my life since I can remember, since the age of 16, 17, purchasing my first property and ongoing since then. Hundreds of properties later, hundreds of deals later, I find myself in Malaysia and I've decided to set up a club where like-minded investors can get together and look at new opportunities, and we can also give knowledge back via this education platform that I've set up. So what is Inhouse? First of all, before we get on to the topic of the episode, which is Malaysia agricultural growth and the rise of Napier, before I get on to that, I'm just going to explain a little bit more about the club, who it's for, if it's for you or not, and go from there. So the club itself, let's share this screen. I want to show you a couple of slides. These sessions are going to be quite informal, guys. Yeah, I'm all for about content rather than quality of videos, etc. I think it's more important that we learn in ways that we like to learn. Yeah, and I'm never scripted. I'm just off the cuff and just say it how it is. So hopefully that resonates with a lot of you. So what is Inhouse? What is the club? How can it benefit you, and why should you join? Well, first of all, it's free, so you've got nothing to lose. We are a club of about 600 people, locally based. Most of us are in KL, and we just have tips and education on different real estate investments you can make around the world. That's pretty much what we do. Now, because of our size and because of our buying power, we get group discount advantage on anything we buy. So first of all, I'm normally the first one to go in with the first investment, to test it out, to make sure it works before anyone else does. And we have a setup to make sure that the investments that we choose are top level. So for instance, we might go to a housing development in KL and we might go straight to developer and we might buy 100 units. Now, who's going to get a better deal? You buying 1 unit or us buying 100? Lately, we just did one back in the UK. We got them for 35% discount. So if you're looking to make money before you even start investing in a property, at the very start when you buy it, then you need to be part of this group. You can't really afford not to. You're throwing your money down the drain by keep buying it yourselves. Yeah. Also, our opportunities are exclusive. We don't go to real estate agents because these guys are just after their commissions. Yeah. We go to developers directly, which means that we often get stock on projects that don't even come onto iProperty or Property Guru. We buy them out before it even goes to market, which means you get a much cheaper price. So if you're looking to purchase property at all in the next 5 years, you need to be part of this group. Also, 90% of you in Malaysia, you only invest in Malaysia. What happens when the property market goes down? Your investment goes down. We have deal sources all over the world that purely work for Inhouse. Their full-time job, they don't get paid a commission. Their job is to do one thing and one thing only, to find us good property and unique deals that we can benefit from. Some of these deals might only be a year long. Some of these might be long-term holds. Depends on your strategy, depends on your goals. But we have so many options available normally at any one time. Now, predominantly, we are an education platform. So we typically have podcasts, webinars all the time, purely aimed at educating you in Malaysia to make the right decisions. So we typically educate on UK, mortgages, tax, Australia, Malaysia, Thailand, some places outside of here as well, but these are the top 4 places Malaysians like to invest into. So that's why we normally focus. But sometimes in the group, we might have experts in the group, business people, entrepreneurs that will also come onto this podcast and we'll speak to them as well. Today, we're obviously discussing Malaysia agriculture and the rise of Napier grass and animal feed projects in Malaysia and why I think you should be taking a look at this. But other times we'll be doing networking events. We've got a trip to Australia next month, which we're subsidizing. We're paying for any member to join. Why else should you join this community? I believe we're the only one right now in Malaysia that lets you all chat on a WhatsApp group. Now, you'll notice people don't like doing this because they don't want you chatting together in case I put it down to them just not being transparent. If they mess up, then you're all going to complain. Yeah. So with me, I vet everyone that comes into the group. I make sure that they're there. They're there not to solicit. They're not there to profit from members, but they're there purely to network and to learn. So everybody in this group, we share good investments together. So you guys can obviously invest in them as well if you like to, but we also share bad investments. So people don't just join this to save money. Sorry, people don't just join this to make money. They do it to save money as well. So we have an ongoing list of companies that have either shut down, scammed people, or people have just had a bad experience with before. So you know not to make them same mistakes. Again, together, we've got more power, and that's the core principle why I set this company up. So we have a platform to learn together and to do this. Now, there's different levels on the platform, just to make it easier so I can assess where to sort of put you in certain deals, because there are some deals that we do that might need, for instance, £10 million, that it needs maybe 5 or 6 of us to come together with a higher level. So we have bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. Just by joining the bronze, guys, forget about the others. Just by joining the bronze, you get access to the WhatsApp groups and you get access to subsidized trips. So next month we go into Perth. We're paying for it. Just by you becoming members, you get free trips all over, as long as you're there to obviously look at property and you have an interest in learning about property markets, then you've got your ticket. Now, as you go up, you start to get access to different kinds of deals, different kinds of unique deals that obviously require a little bit more capital outlay. But in this world, the more you spend, the more you make, unfortunately. And that's just the way it is. And on the last one, you get access to my private WhatsApp as well, if you so should want. Now, what do we look for? Sometimes we have our members come to us with great investments and we tell people about it. You know, if these companies are doing well and they're making you a good return, we want to hear. I want to invest as well. What do we look for? We look for things that are between 10 and 20% consistent growth and have done so for many years already. We don't go in first time to projects, and we vet the people behind the companies fully. You will be surprised how many Malaysians that I've met that have invested in things, unfortunately, where simple checks were just not done or contracts were not written. So we have a team of in-house lawyers. We have a team of in-house deal sources. We have a team that do their own DD on all these projects before they even come to you. So 10, 20% target return. We're never going to invest in things like crypto. That's not what we're here for. We're here for safe, secure returns. Now, we also like to invest in things that have 100% asset security. So freehold title deed means that if you ever buy a property, you can sell it again at worst case scenario. You don't lose your money. So that's also the secondary thing that we look for. And again, these deal sources we have worldwide, their full-time job is to find these sort of deals exclusively before they even go to market for you guys to normally see them. Now, they might be in real estate. 90% of our offers that we do tend to be in real estate, but it can be businesses, can be developer finance. We could finance a developer with a bridging loan for a short period of time. These deals do exist. They pay quite well. Or private equity. It could be a new tech startup, for instance. So there's a lot of money to be made from this part of the world. So Malaysian agriculture, what's this about? If you've never heard about it, let me explain from the very beginning. Some of you may have heard about this in the government in the last few years. Some of you may not. Some of you might know about the big beef and dairy farms that are expanding and growing and starting now. Some of you may not. So where does this all start? Did you know, Malaysia, that 83.5% of beef and 88% of dairy is currently imported into Malaysia? You don't have it here. That's crazy. 900 million in imports worth of beef and 1.7 billion in dairy. Now, the Malaysia government have realized, along with a lot of other countries, including Thailand, that's just reduced its beef and dairy massively, thanks to one particular type of animal feed of Napier, hybrid Napier. They've also agreed that there needs to be change. They need to start reducing this so they're self-sufficient in beef and dairy, like a lot of countries around the world are doing right now. Look at the Middle East. 80% of their food they import. Some categories are up to 90%. Their people now, if this war keeps going on at the moment that it is with America and Iran, then they're going to run out of food. Countries are realizing that they need to look after their own people first, especially when it comes to staple foods, and they need to claim their food sovereignty back. What do I mean by food sovereignty? I mean not relying upon imports and you exporting your food. Yeah. So you becoming proud of something you're making because you can feed your own people and you should be putting your people first. The Malaysian government have realized this and they're putting a lot of money into it. So how much are they putting in? 27.59 billion. This is a ridiculous figure. It's an amazing amount. And when you're looking for an industry to get involved in, when the government are putting money like that into it, it's normally a very, very good sign. 10% of your workforce in Malaysia are employed in the farming sector. That's a huge amount. Yeah. What are they doing? Where's this money going? Well, first of all, it's going in tax incentives. 10 years income tax free. If you have a cattle farm at the moment, a livestock farm, this could be pigs and sheep as well, or if you have an animal feed crop farm, that's important. And that'll be interesting later. So no income tax to pay. That makes it much more attractive for these companies to expand or to start a new one in beef or dairy. What else are they doing? They're giving 8,800 acres of subsidized government land to businesses wanting to start their own farm or expanding their farms. Again, reducing the cost of the business, which increases the profits. Beforehand, you might only make 8-9% from farming per year in any investment you make, even if you own one. Now they've gone and shot up. It's performed better than property. An animal feed farm has performed better than property in the last 10 years. It's performed better than many index funds here in the country have done in the last 10 years. But no one knows about this, it seems. But now people are beginning to take notice. So the aim is to reduce the dependency on animal feed and to increase production. That means more cows across the country. Right now, there's 29,000 cattle farms alone in Malaysia. That's a huge amount. And you know what their biggest cost is? Animal feed. 50 to 60% of an operation that has cattle, their operational cost is cattle feed. They've got to feed them. They eat a hell of a lot, cows. You'd be very surprised. Now, 9 months ago, I never knew any of this. This is basically my research that I did before putting money into this industry myself. And if you'd like to find out more about that, join as a member and message me back. But I've invested in this sector purely because the numbers are staggering. They're absolutely staggering. 92% of animal feed is also imported. It's not even grown here. They're importing it. Imagine the cost of that. It's 200 ringgit a ton. Let me ask you a question. If you were a cattle farm and you could import cattle feed for 200 ringgit a ton, Napier, for instance, or you could buy it from someone locally in Malaysia that's growing it for 150 ringgit a ton, where would you go? This is the opportunity that people have now in Malaysia. So it's very important that obviously to get good milk quality, if you're running a dairy farm, it's important that the cow eats good food. And that's what's changing in this country. There's more education going on. There's more farming technology going on. There's farms starting every day. Companies like F&N recently just imported 2,500 cows last April. That's 5,000 cows they now have. Most milk companies and dairy companies, if you look at them or ask ChatGPT, they've all expanded in the last few years. Now, this country doesn't eat too much pork because it's a Muslim population. So beef consumption is even higher of that of sideline countries or countries around you. So as long as these cows keep eating and they keep growing in number, animal feed's the way to go, I think. Why? It's cheaper to get involved. You haven't got to pay for a huge amounts of cows on huge amounts of land and then pay for the huge feed costs. If you grow grass, and in particular, a hybrid grass that grows 7 times a year, that's income 7 times a year for you. That is a crazy return that's consistent as hell and doesn't take much to start up. If you want to find out more about this opportunity and the opportunities that are in this industry, we'd love to educate you so you have the information that you need to go out there and find the investments that you choose. My name's Dean. This is episode 1 of many we're doing every Friday at 3 p.m. The next one we'll be doing is about the Perth property market and how that's grown hugely. It's doubled in value, most properties there in the last 5-6 years. You don't want to miss that one. We're also doing a free tour there for members. So if you join up today, you get a free ticket. Yeah, to Perth on the 11th to the 13th of May next month. Now, depending on when you're watching this video, we're in 2016. Today is the 24th of April. So we do them every single month, these investment tours for the next year till the end of the year, until December. So if you go to inhousemy.com, you go to the events page, you'll see all the dates there for the trips. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Dean Edward. Very lovely to have you here, and we'll see you on episode 2.